My name is Romeena, and this is my story. I was born in Guyana, South America. Ever since I can remember, church and family went hand to hand. Every Sunday, my family, not just my immediate family, but all my cousins and my aunts and uncle, we would be in church every Sunday. One of the things that stand out to me the most is always feeding the homeless people. My mom would every couple months or sometimes once a year, we would have about 60, 70 people that are known as beggars, homeless people that we would invite into our home for a meal. So growing up there, doing good deeds for others was a big part of my life, and it still is now. For years of praying and asking God to find a good husband, I was blessed with Scott. He is just a wonderful person, and I am grateful to be walking in this journey with him. Once we got married, we tried to start a family right away. We went through some challenges with that. After all the praying with our friends and our family, we were finally pregnant. And needless to say, we were super excited. Not only were we pregnant, we were starting this family, and our prayers have been answered. We've prayed for our family for so long, and here we're gonna finally have that. Sure enough, when I was about 12 weeks pregnant, the doctors told me that there's a 99% chance that the baby will be born with Down syndrome. When you hear that, your whole world just changes in the moment of hearing that, and you don't think about faith, praying, or anything, because at that moment when you're hearing it, all you want to do is just cry, and you feel like crumbling to the floor. I was by myself at the doctor's office when they told me that. I did as much as I could to possibly process it. And the funny thing is, while they told me that news, that's when I found out the gender of the baby. I'm like, here I'm hearing this great news of me having a boy, and also there's a 99% chance he's going to be born with Down syndrome. I didn't want to do any other test because finding out while I was pregnant, if 100% sure this baby's going to be born with Down syndrome, it wasn't going to change the outcome of my pregnancy. So why do that? Why take the chance of doing a test that could potentially cause a miscarriage? That's when prayer comes in, your faith, and everyone that loves you gathers around you and supports you. Sure enough, at the tail end of my pregnancy, some ultrasound came back saying that now the baby's showing physical signs of Down syndrome, plus with some other complications. But they said you won't know for sure until he's actually born, because I never did an amnio to know for sure if he would have Down syndrome. Sure enough, when he was born, I remember being in the room and hearing the doctors telling my husband he's showing the physical signs of it, his eyes and his hands. And you hear that and you're thinking to yourself, I can't believe this happened. He was born with Down syndrome. But when you pray and you ask God for things, like I've asked God for a family, to start a family, God answered my prayer. Yes, we had this baby boy that was born with Down syndrome. In my head, that's not what I had prayed for. I prayed for a family, but he blessed us with a baby that was born with Down syndrome. Not only did he answer our prayers, he might not have answered the way I wanted him to answer the prayer, but he did answer them. But he also equipped me and my husband with all the tools that we need to raise Logan. From the therapist that we've met, to the doctors, to our wonderful support group that we have. If it wasn't for all those people, we wouldn't be living the journey that we're living right now on the path that we're on. My faith in Jesus has strengthened over the past year, I would say, more than before. I always thought I had the strongest faith, but I realized that when Logan was born, I didn't have a strong faith, because if I did, I wouldn't have been questioning all the things that I was questioning. And from that, I've learned that I have to have faith and not just say it, but believe it deep down inside, that whereby he's going to do the things that God wants him to do and has blessed him with, all the skills that he's going to be doing. There's moments that I question some things, but then I realize, okay, Romeena, you need to just have faith, pray, and let the Lord do his work. So I've experienced God's love in many different ways. Logan, to know him is to love him. His laughter, all the things that he's doing, I see God's grace in him through his works, his mercy, and his strength. We wouldn't be able to do what we do with Logan if it wasn't for faith, prayer, and God's mercy on us. Air high five? Or fist bump?
Fist bump?
Boom.